And all the rest of you space pirates out there, hello, and welcome back to Space Engineers. And today I am in a creative world on a hunk of metal that may or may not look familiar if you've already watched the other episodes by the time I post this. I am on what I started as my large ship in the build-off between me and D-Swank. Let me get into proper spectator here and kind of zoom back out so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It may look a little more familiar. And there it is. This is trying to cheat in what I've already started over here. This was the front end of the ship that I'd started building in D-Swing's world during our little build-off. While I really enjoyed the way it looked, and I was really happy with the way it was coming out, D-Swing was right. It was kind of flimsy. Looks a bit weak. So, in my own time, I took this, plus all the mods, turned around, and I began working on its replacement. And here it is. Much happier with the outcome of this one. Definitely looks a little beefier, definitely looks a little more military, a little more meaner. And I'm going to go through very quickly with the progress I've made on it thus far. On the outside, as you can see, we've got some battleship cannons here. I believe these are the flak and the anti-missile guns. Underneath here we have the anti-fighter and a couple of laser turrets. Now, we played with these a little bit. These some guns here are overpowered. They cut clean through the other side with just a quick spray of bullets. So I made up taking these off for our one-on-one just because of how incredibly overpowered they are. Or I may not. Don't tell him. So, one other thing is I redesigned what would have been just a decorative nose here into housing this, which I believe is called, I had to look it up, it's called the Basilisk Laser. It comes with 3 components, the emitter, a harmonizer, and the focuser up front here. Don't know what impact the harmonizers actually put on the emitter to the back here, but there's a bunch of them. It makes a really, really big cannon. Unfortunately, I believe it's broken. We were trying to test this out last time we were in here together, and it didn't fire, which is a bit unfortunate. So hopefully it will be fixed by the time I finish the ship and have the build-off, or rather the face-off with D-Swank. If it doesn't, I will throw on one of these. Where are you at? Right here, these MAC cannons. I will throw on this biggest MAC cannon right here. I'll just replace it with that if I have to. Don't want to because that looks better. That looks so much better. This little hole here is where a camera's going to go whenever I remember to do it. Down here in all this heavy armor is the majority of my, and I got to fill some of this in, it looks like, a majority of my decoys. So a lot of fire frontal is going to be heading straight to all this heavy armor, which will also be covered up by shields. So a lot of focus is going to be right here, away from my main cannons and what will be the innards of my ship back this way. And it looks like I've painted my cannons. Oops. The heavy defense turrets here are what lining the side and I believe top. Yes, and the top. So that's 9 heavy defense turrets, which is 1 short of the max that we have set for ourselves. Now, I've already started working on the inside as well. As we come around here, see all this kind of blocked in. Down here, I'm starting to use this passage mod, which is quite lovely. I love this a lot. And as we pass through here, we go into a control room, mirrored on the other side, which is for our industrial section here, which contains our assemblers, our refineries, and the oxygen generation and storage. And if we keep going down below and follow our catwalks and ladders, we will find that we go through here to the back, down, around, and through another passage for entrance and maintenance underneath, as well as all the way to the back where we find the antenna room. The control here, the control blocks here are probably not needed, I guess you could say, but adds a little flavor. And I'm going to come back and change this around a bit as I go. But that's about all I really have for this ship so far. I am taking my time with this one. I'm not going to rush through this one. I rushed through the small ship build that we did close to the end, and I was not very thrilled with how the nacelles came out. I enjoyed the rest of the ship. I did make some mistakes, but you know, that's the whole point of these kind of build-offs. You get better at what you're doing as you're doing them. So I'm going to take my time with this one. I really like how the front of this is already coming out. If you're wondering, I am basing this off of another ship. I am basing this off of a Galra cruiser, which is from the new Voltron Legendary Defender. Is it Legendary Defender? I think. Anyway, the new Voltron. The Galra ships are pretty cool, and I like them, and I decided I was going to base this one off of that. Now, it's going to start swinging into something more my flavor as I build, but I'm going to take a lot of its design cues and shape from that. But that's kind of it that I've got so far. Really happy how it's coming out, and I do hope you all enjoy this little update, and when I get to a point that I'm comfortable with how much has been done again, I'll bring you back for another update. So until then, hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next episode. Have a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody.